Hidden Object Guru here with a look at some of the games I played recently. As always, I'm going to be rating these out of 10 based on how interested I am in coming back and finishing them at a later date. Forest Ranger Simulator. Apprenticeship. I've always been a sucker for these job simulators games, and this isn't going to be the one that breaks my habit. Players are asked to maintain a wide stretch of parkland, repairing a cabin, setting up bird feeders, putting out fires, and making sure hunters' traps don't injure the adorable animals that people come out to see. Also, there's just like a metric ton of picking up and sorting garbage, which is almost as satisfying here as it is in real life. This is just a demo, so you can grab it for yourself right now and get just as excited as I am for the full version of the game later this year. 8 out of 10. Clean the Sea. Basically a toy designed to teach kids about the need to clean up ocean pollution and avoid dumping. This works perfectly well as that. The player grabs garbage and shifts it over to a recycling bin and spends the resulting cash upgrading their boat to move faster or grabbing more garbage at once. There's not a lot of content yet, there's just a few maps to explore right now and no real complications in the gameplay. Play one area and you've played them all. The real issue is that the rate of progression isn't very satisfying. Every piece of garbage pays out exactly the same, just $2, whether it's a plastic cup or a Volkswagen Bug. There's so little garbage to pick up that the player won't be able to upgrade their boat or even move on to new areas without selling all of their gold tokens, which take quite a while to gather. The game tries to offer some help in the form of unlockable AI assistants, but they're completely incompetent at the moment, trapping themselves in corners instead of picking up garbage. Hopefully the game's developers will fix these issues before it's finished, and if they do, there's a chance I'll check it out when it's done. 6 out of 10. BioGuard. It's a tower defense game set inside a human body, where the player uses antibiotics and white blood cells to fight off foes. It's untraditionally structured, with the player having access to just a handful of towers to fight off the foes, each one focusing on doing a different type of damage. While there are a few standard enemies, most have up to 2 different kinds of shields that have to be taken down before you can do any physical damage to them. The name of the game here is Strategic Tower Placement, ensuring that the towers have enough time to do sufficient shield damage before the foes get anywhere near their target. Now, the lack of tower variety is made up for by the huge number of ability cards and rechargeable powers that can be unlocked, which are very good at evening the odds. Is the setting disgusting? Sure, but this is solid tower defense gameplay. 7 out of 10. Space Docker VR. So, long story short, after Hard Space Shipbreaker decided to lock up because I played it too much, I've been looking for something to scratch that blue-collar space worker itch. And since Viscera Cleanup Detail 2 seems to never be happening, I'm lucky to have found Space Docker VR, which is the perfect thing to slot into that place in my heart. Players have to use a believably awkward cargo ship to schlep cargo containers around future space docks. The developers have created a fantastic cockpit with completely natural controls. Yes, they take a little getting used to, but within 10 minutes I was freely zipping around, docking with boxes, orbiting miniature black holes, or zipping nuclear weapons to a safe disposal site. I can't get enough of fake cockpit spaceflight games, and if I'm having this great a time with just regular controllers, I can only imagine how well it must play for people with flight sticks, with which the game is compatible. It's a fantastic experience, one that I can't wait to dig further into. 8 out of 10. Cybertrash Statics. It's an old-style combat platformer about a lady with amnesia battling robots in a dystopian future. With its large sprites and clunky controls, this feels like a genuinely retro experience, almost casting back to the days of the Amiga or Atari ST. While that's a nice aim to have, and the game accomplishes it well, the actual gameplay is fairly awkward. The high jump is weird to perform for how necessary it is for gameplay. An enemy's ability to quickly spray bullets in all directions suggests an expectation that the player will have much more agility than the controls offer. I only saw one boss fight, but it was so poorly designed that I was able to beat it just by standing on the left side of the screen and constantly firing. Visually, it's a charming throwback, but I've got better platformers to get back to. 4 out of 10. Pneumocapsula. It's done! We played this one early in its development, and now that it's been out for a while, I'm happy to say that it's still simple and charming. The player runs their little delivery shuttle along a track and electrifies fields to solve basic puzzles. It's certainly cute, but the minimal instructions prove frustrating at times. I've played plenty of games where the main appeal is figuring out strange alien technology, but it's important to carefully flag the puzzle elements, which Pneumocapsula fails to do on regular occasions, leaving me forced to work via trial and error, which is never a blast. That said, it's a visually interesting world and there's a nice flow to gameplay, so I could see myself finishing it at some point in the future. 5 out of 10. Maniac. The developers have made a survival-like based loosely on the original Grand Theft Auto, but now in 3D. Kind of. It's weird, but oddly compelling. There's a charming madness to seeing hordes of cars racing around the map, constantly exploding as they slam into walls and each other. It's challenging to build up enough cash to be able to upgrade to the point where the round will last more than a few minutes, and that's absolutely as it should be. Like, nothing against vampire survivors, but, I mean, with the right character, you can kind of beat most of the levels on your first attempt. The developers even went to the trouble of including a control mode that mirrors the original tank GTA controls, with the player only able to move forwards and backwards or rotate. Even the modern control scheme only lets players fire straight ahead rather than the now standard twin-stick combat. The result is a super challenging entry in the survivor genre that I'm psyched to play more of once they add some more content to it. 7 out of 10. Boar Blasters. Will I play any 2D game about mining? Yeah, probably. Since the EGA mining games of the 80s, I've loved hunting for gold and gems while digging towards the center of the earth. So yeah, I'm predisposed to love this already. But the way the developers have paired the classic treasure hunting gameplay with a twin-stick shooter is nothing less than magnificent. The level ups are perfectly balanced to provide a constant sense of reward as players work their way through the different biomes and fight new foes. Each power offers an easily detectable gameplay boost, creating an irresistible pull that kept me coming back. Seriously, I got this thing on Tuesday and I finished it less than 48 hours later. It only takes about 5 hours to get through. But I'm so happy with it, I still have to give it an I beat it out of 10. That's it for now. I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, suggestions for things you would like to see me cover can be dropped in the comments section below the video. We'll see you back here when I've had a chance to play some more games, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.